Alright, I'm going to do a little quick thing for the YouTube, and then I'm going to be back talking to you. Alright guys, we are now reading the 6th SCP of today's stream. The Palm of Atrocities is a interesting one. It was definitely, I think it's a more funny one, even though it's asking horrible stuff. The idea that it just asks, like, that the thing it's asking is very random, has a bit of a comedy aspect to it. But yeah, at the end, you know, maybe don't ask a pawn that makes you hallucinate stuff and then it may request of you some crime. Maybe you should stay away from that. But let's see if Photographus Thaumatus has something more nicer to offer us. In the meantime, my fellow researchers, doctors, agents, and O5s, we're going down into the rabbit hole, and I want you to secure the subscribe button, contain the like button, and protect the comment section, because we're going in. And this one, okay, can my voice still take it? Yes, it can. If you have any question, by the way, Sparkle, I can give you as much answers as I hopefully can, because I have, as I said, I have read now over 1,000 of these fuckers, and there are certain things that maybe you don't know about just yet, or you have heard about and want to like know more about it. So you can ask me anytime. I'm willing to give you the answer right away if I have an answer. So we have an anomalous human. That's different. It's not safe. It's not Euclid. It's not Keto. Okay. Containment class. I found it. It's very quick to get through, but I get it if you're curious about the order. Why did it block the number? What the hell? That's so weird. Links are blocked. Oh yeah, okay, if it's a link, yes. It's too far. Okay, yeah, no. I am very much a purist when it comes to orders, as you said. That one will probably get in a year. It has a rating green. Okay, we're back to the color rating. We had that in the last one, which is interesting. I wonder if it's written by the same person. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell. Yeah, you asked me if it's a collaborative literature project. Yes, there are multiple people writing different SCPs, and authority. Yeah, I would say there's no authority. It's like there is no royalty over this. Everybody can write with what they want as long as they follow a certain style. I mean, it depends on the SCP how you want to write it, because like some logs are written differently for the sake of the SCP, because it makes more sense that way. For example, if it says like, oh, the SCP influences how you write it as a person, then the log will be written differently to indicate that the person that's writing the log got affected by it. So yeah, there is no authority. Like, there's just a bunch of people coming together, writing this stuff. I don't want the song either. Come on. Come on. Yeah, why not? This one is okay. Okay, green. Green was like, it caused a little bit of trouble. Standard containment policies: 1 person residential module, no amenity restrictions, access to site, library, recreational facilities, cafeteria, and public areas. Bi-weekly psychological review, Dr. Fiolini. Monthly eye exam, Dr. Oatmeal, with changes in eyeglasses, prescription, and other teammate treatments as needed. Schedule, experimentation plan. This already sounds a bit more confusing than I like, but we will go on. It's called Photographus Thaumatus. Just a quick reminder to myself. Okay, special containment procedures updated. 2015. Experimentation Testing Supervisory Committee Special Order 1465 AF3 permits SB-1465 access to personal research notes and further experimental materials for self-directed experimentation. All tests are logged, and all further research notes are shared with supervisory staff. Committee vote 7-2 in favor, citing subjects' cooperation experience and lack of available test chambers and supervisory staff due to the influx of new and normal subjects from operation redacted. Dissenting opinion filed. DOB 7th 21st 1990. POB Boston, MA, USA. DOC 2013. Height 171 centimeters. Weight 67.5 kilograms. Hair brown. Eyes brown. Other notes: heavy damage to the cornea and conjunctiva due to repeated photokeratitis. Issued prescription sunglasses. Tattoo located on the inside of the left forearm. I have no idea what the hell it says. Oh, let there be light. Well, ain't that ironic? The tattoo that says let there be light and his eyes are absolutely destroyed. Description: SCP-1465 is an adult female human capable of inducing physical photographs or film to general light. Pardon? Is capable of inducing physical photographs or film to generate light. Generate light will cycle through the visible spectrum, starting with red and progressing to purple before repeating. Cycle time varies with no apparent pattern, with the longest recording time being 24 seconds per cycle, and the shortest being 1/8 of a second. Generated light is not of uniform brightness, displaying complex geometric patterns when projected upon a flat surface. Patterns are dependent on the primary display color and will change accordingly. This property can only be used for physical photographs and film cells. Digital photos and screen displays will be unaffected, as will heavily doctored or damaged images and cells from animated films. Affected photos and film will turn black and display no image after SCP-1465 dissipates its effect. SCP-1465 has claimed that the patterns generated by this effect contained encoded information about the subject of the photograph or film, which may then be connected to other photograph subjects for view of SCP-146. Photograph subjects. A view of SCP-1465's research notes have validated this claim, but further exploration of the subject's properties is unlikely to continue due to the lack of meaningful discoveries in the time investment required to train Foundation staff in reading displayed patterns. Extensive study of photographs under the light generation effect has been confirmed as the source of the subject's eye damage. Yeah, that makes sense. Recovery log: SCP-1465 was recovered on 2013 after the subject was witnessed demonstrating anomalous properties while visiting the Ansel Adams exhibit at the redacted Museum of Art. The subject was at the time of recovery suffering from caffeine overdose and severe sleep deprivation. Class C amnestics and a cover story of petty vandalism were distributed with no complication. Ugh. A total of 3,123 pages of handwritten and typed notes. 126 photo albums with annotations, and 45 cameras were acquired from SCP-1465's apartment during recovery. Recovered materials detail SCP-1465's personal experimentation and theories. See document-EX for further details. The bulk of materials were experiment results were pattern were converted into a cipher and constructed shorthand language, created by SCP-1465 for the purpose of recording large amounts of data from display patterns. Addendum 1. The following excerpt is from an interview carried on 2013, 3 days after recovery. Okay. When did you first discover your properties? I don't really know. Must have been 10, 11. There wasn't a whole, hey girl, you have superpowers now thing. Didn't get bit by a radioactive Kodak or anything. Took me a while to even realize it was happening. Then it's a little here, a little there, figuring out what I can do. And before you know it, I'm locking myself in the dark room for 40 hours at a time. Your notes were very thorough on the subject. No use just sitting around on my hands and daydreaming about it. Gotta get something done, girls. What my mom always said. Of course, that's very sound advice. Any chance I can get those back? Not now, I'm afraid. I'll see what we can do in the future. One of those deals. Any chance for wiggle room? Just leaving things be? I'm sorry, but no. Moving on. My Finder just opened up for some reason. Moving on. While your notes have been a great help in studying your case, deciphering them has been something of a difficulty. I didn't really intend for anyone else to read my personal research, so that's your fault. You could have waited for the completed thesis like everyone else. We have the resource to further research, but without your cooperation, the project will go nowhere. Fine, but only if you ask nicely. Very well. Could you please explain the principle of patterns further? Yeah, sure. Okay, so most of the information that we process comes through our ability to sense light, right? A camera captures light at one particular moment in time, so you get a stable fragment, a sort of cross-section of all the light data at a particular point. When you hold the prism up to the light, you get the color of the visual spectrum all arranged in a pattern depending on how the prism is cut and the angle of the light, etc., etc. For me, etc. I see. For me, with photographs, it's like all those colors are in layers on top of each other, and each one has a different pattern to it depending on what's in the photograph. So I draw that out of the photo, stare at it a bit, and figure out the patterns. After I got a lot of them written down, I started seeing patterns connect and match between unrelated pictures. If you give me two photographs, like if you give me a separate single photo of an old married couple, they have some similarities in the red stratum. Or if you want a really weird one, you know, the picture of the Hindenburg has almost the exact same blue patterns as photos of my cat. Still haven't figured out that one out, whatever. But the thing is, everything is linked. Everything patterns inside patterns inside patterns inside patterns. Like some gigantic puzzle, big enough I don't have a clue what even it means anymore, and I'm nowhere close to solving it. It's all very quantum. It's quantum encrypted lumen linguistics, and it doesn't make a shit lick of sense. Yeah, it's confusing me, but I think I understand a little bit what she's trying to say. And then 2, translated segments of SB1464's research notes, dated between June 2nd and June 4th, 2013. She's definitely, from what I understand, when she looks at photograph of film, she sees certain color patterns that correlate with other ones that from the content of the photograph of films may not have anything to do with it, but she's trying to figure out why those color patterns show up in each other. Like what makes the red color pattern of a family photo correlate to a red color pattern of, let's just say, a horse race photo. Like, those are two different photos. None of the people are the same. One has a bunch of people in it. One has an animal in it, and a background of a track. But for some reason, that pattern of redness shows up in both photos for her. So she's trying to figure out, like, what does this mean? So I understand that she must feel intrigued to just research, just deep diving into this, because otherwise, I mean, what else would she do? She's the only one who can see this. She can explain what she sees, but she cannot, like, you know. Also, watching a movie must suck, because she would see a bunch of colors that are not even there for the regular person. Translated segment of SB164's research notes statement. Yep, okay. Found photo of myself. It seems like she sees colors in different ways than we do and can glean information based on that. Exactly. You said it in a much shorter way than I did. Well, digital media was unaltered. Yeah. Found photo of myself unused. Dated December 14, 2006. Patterns very clear for age. Several substrata discernible on yellow and green layers. Very complex pattern. I mean, to be honest, I'm also not very smart. I understand, like, I love myth, fantasy, and urban legends, all that stuff I can easily, quickly understand. But when it actually comes to, like, science, I'm far behind. I'm a dumbass when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I'm just glad I do understand this, and I'm glad that you gave a much faster explanation. Cross-reference part of green pattern with records. Only matches photograph of the Grand Canyon. No other matches between the two. No tends to be found in pattern. I've never been to the Grand Canyon, so I must presume that some event of importance will occur at the Grand Canyon at some point in the future, despite lack of future tense markers. Interesting. I cross-referenced the photo of myself with an aerial photo of the state of Arizona pattern still repeats, so I know that the connection is not specifically tied to the Grand Canyon. We'll have to tighten the search to see where there is a greater connection. Grid search of the state is completed. Strongest connection is with Phoenix. Further investigation necessary. On whim, search news archives for any sort of notable event in the Phoenix area on the date of December 14th, 2006. Only event of note is the murder of one Anthony Baker by his 16-year-old girlfriend. Checked a photo of the accused girl, no pattern links in the green. Photo of victim reveals some green pattern, fragments as state, and myself. If this is correct, I am somehow connected with the murder of someone I've never met, in a state I've never visited. We'll have to think about this. Found satisfying conclusion for the time being thinking forwards and backwards, but not sideways. Current theory, certain green patterns, at least part of the repetition in those photos, indicate a trans-universal tense, linking between events that have and have not occurred simultaneously. Actions that I have will not have done. I'm involved and uninvolved at the same time. I can then presume that an alternate chain of events in which I am guilty, or at least accused to be guilty, of murdering Anthony Baker exists. Question: why only this? Should be seeing more links of this nature. No other trans-universal tense tags have been found in other photographs. Theory: that presence is active work by other side self to contact this side self through modification of pattern. Purpose level of intentionally unknown at the time as this method of counter communication. If true, can presume that other side self in possession of expanded or alternate properties capable of encoding patterns would imply that otherwise self is capable of manipulating photographic material without falsifying subject of photo. Furthermore, indicates that certain patterns exist in multiple universe iteration. Further research necessary, should buy tickets to Phoenix. You know what would be kind of funny to tell her? Well, because this is all her theory, but it would be kind of funny to be like, nah, you just see weird colors. Like, the Foundation just come to her like, yeah, we figured out that there's no connection. You just see colors differently than we do. That would not be an SCP, of course. That would not be an SCP at the end. That would just be a different, like a color blindness effect. But that would be so mean. Imagine like the many worlds theory of QM. The things could be different, and they are, but not at the same time and place. Okay. Well, we have one last thing to read. Follow-up segments of notes dated June 9th, 2013. Have not slept in 67 hours. Girl, God fucking hell, go to sleep. Over 10,000 photographs of Phoenix area and articles related to Anthony Baker's murder and murder analysis in bulk batches, experiencing temporary blindness due to volume. Links found with other side self throughout Phoenix area. No question remains that the message was left by other side self, though signature still unconfirmed as voluntary act. And she taps into that in a way. It does, at least that's what she thinks. If that's the truth, we don't know. This is what her theory is through self-research. But that's the closest thing that the Foundation has to go off right now. Strong links between the following photographs: emergency exit signs, businessmen in suits, parrots in cage, potential meaning, other side self requesting assistance and escape. Still no theories on methods and return communication, questioning whether such action would be wise, possible. Information unfettered by time and space, bodies very much so. Future option, questions remain, motive for escape, unknown, life path, variables unknown. Must bear in mind that other side, Iris Leucosis is separate individual from this side, Iris Leucosis. We'll investigate further later, we'll leave Phoenix after recovery. Okay. That was an interesting one though. I think what's interesting about this one is the fact that we get the SCP itself to theorize what they can do, because most of the time it is the foundation that do the tests and do the research and all, like they like take the notes and like, okay, so this SCP does this, what happens if we do this with it, what kind of results will happen, and then they jot it down like, okay, if you do that, this will happen. So usually it's the foundation that has the answer, so to speak. That was heavy on theory, but I liked it. Yeah, exactly. It was very heavy on theory. It's not like the foundation know for a fact that's what she does is actually what's happening. But what I liked is that she herself is the one that came up with her ability, her anomaly, and the foundation kind of just has to sit there and be like, well, we have nothing else to go for. We have no other answer for you right now. We can work together and figure an answer out, but right now all the information we have is the information you give. So, which this SCP log, it shows, like, the information that they have is what you give us, the reader and the foundation themselves. They have nothing else to go off of. It did confirm some of her predictions, right? I'm not sure if it's confirmed, because like at the end it does say that, like, it did say something about like how teaching the foundation how her ability works is going to take too long of time. So I think they more or less agree with her because they have no other information yet. I think I remember that I said this works, but it's hard to teach this to new people. Exactly, yeah. That's what it is. But I don't think that's a confirmation. I think that's more or less them going along with it until they gain more information out of it. Because at the end, one thing about SCP logs is sometimes an SCP log will just give you some information about what the SCP can do, but then you can ask yourself like, yeah, what happens if you do this though? But the log itself will not have that as a question or as an answer for you. It will just give you as much information as the author thinks is necessary. So with this case, for example, we will never know, unless there is an expansion coming along throughout the years, if this is truly what her ability is, and if the Foundation will ever find out more about it. I think if another SCP connects to hers in the future, like if another SCP says like, oh, there's this woman who can see color, different color patterns in visual media, and then there's like a whole side story about her, and then like there's some like hints in that side story of like new predictions, then that's where we can say, okay, the Foundation, at least in this spin-off story, thinks that this is what it does. But in this case, it could be that the prediction were too vague and the interpretation were too abstract to judge thoroughly. That might be the case. Yeah, I think that's basically what the Foundation is as. Like, it's like, hey, right now your anomaly is really vague, and we have no idea what it does. We're just gonna work together, figure this thing out together, and we're just gonna follow what you have in mind. Oh, she might be schizophrenic. Schizophrenia is a very low chance in the Foundation world. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, that was a interesting one. At first, a bit confusing, but I think, thanks to you, Spagel, I think that was since we can talk about it, because usually I'm alone when I do these readings. Not always. Sometimes I have like 4 people watching, but most of the time I'm alone. So it's good to have somebody to, like, you know, theorize together with.